Hey guys, good morning. So this is going to be my second deer hunting trip, and as you can see, I'm in the middle of a snowstorm. I'm heading up towards Cobleskill, New York. I'm supposed to have some really big bucks, but if you are from the surrounding area, you know that yesterday we got about 6 inches of snow, more than what was predicted in the on the weather channels, and we are just getting pounded. So last night I was not able to make it up here, so this morning I started out at 6 a.m. and it's gonna take me a while to get up there, but as you can see, all the roads are clear, meaning that there's not a lot of people on them. I did pass a large number of vehicles that were just left by the wayside. People were just abandoning their cars because the traffic getting in and out of the city last night was horrendous. In Manhattan, I think somebody reported 3 hours to go 2 blocks or some crazy number like that. A lot of people wound up getting hotels or just abandoning their cars. So the plot that we're going to go to today is a friend of mine's plot. It's farmland. There is a structure on it, but it's not habitable. It's just a mess. So I do have some tents, some GP tents, that kind of thing that we're going to set up with heaters and snow and sleeping bags, etc. For me, it's more of a scouting trip. Hopefully this weather does break and we're able to get out into the woods. I have 4-wheel drive. I'm going very slow, about 40 miles an hour, and I'm just trying to make it up there in one piece. My truck is heavily loaded with all the gear, because if you're going to do a deer camp is going to, you have to bring a lot of stuff, because there's no running water, very little electricity if we can tap into the house power. If not, we have no electricity other than our vehicles. And fuel is going to be butane. I have a whole bunch of, not butane, propane canisters, small propane canisters that we're going to use for a stove, and we're going to have a camp setup, that kind of thing. The snow plows were out today. They, I got stuck behind them for quite a bit, and it is what it is. This is the Northeast. Northeast gets extremely cold. We get snowstorms that are unpredictable. I'm going to meet up with 2 other guys. They are having trouble digging out of their cars, but what they're going to do is they're going to dig out and they're going to attempt to meet me up here. So hopefully I'll have base camp set up. And again, you can just see how nasty this road is. It's just non-stop snow. Now in the city, it was just rain, so it wasn't too bad. But this is hunting season. This is what you got to contend with. I know I speak to a lot of friends, a lot of guys that say, oh, well, it's no big deal, you just go out and shoot something. No, getting to your destination is part of it, and it's very difficult at times. I know a lot of guys would just cancel the hunting trip because they'd rather be home in their warm, cozy beds, sitting by a fire, drinking cognac. All right, I get it. This is not ideal conditions to be driving to a hunting plot, but the deer is not going to jump into your freezer by itself. It's just not how it works. So I'm going to take it really slow, and if it takes me 4 or 5 hours to get up there, then no big deal. And hopefully we'll have some success. Now, I did go on the forums for this area, and a lot of people were saying that the deer are huge. So very well, because this area that I'm going to is farmland. Farmland, once all the crops are sown, they leave a lot of stuff behind. So the deer obviously are in the farmland. They like to eat the corn, the green, whatever else is left over, and they get nice and fat for hunting season. I don't know what we're gonna see. I do have my other camera here, but like I said, if I'm only running on limited power, I'll just try to film everything on my iPhone, and you guys know how that works. So it's probably not the best quality, but at least you'll figure out what I'm doing. So this is going to be day 1. Primarily going to be the drive up, the setup, maybe get into the woods tonight if this snow kind of subsides a little bit. I don't know the area that well, so I'm going to be doing a lot of scouting. If this turns out to be a viable location, I might come back for maybe bow season, or maybe even next year. You know, look at something like that. Maybe look at a couple spots where we can set up some stands or some hides. So this is day one, bro. This is day one, and hoping that everything goes well and it slows down a little bit so we can set up camp. All right, guys. Thanks a lot. All right, guys. So finally got to the property. There's a couple barns, and there's the house. Everything in there is like completely dilapidated. There's no reason to be in there, and I'm in some type of I guess they would call this like a farm shed, where they would just put tractors and stuff. Nothing spectacular. I was gonna set up the tent in here, but there's a reason I will not. If you can see, some of the beams in here probably have seen better days. That's not really structurally sound, and if you look at that pole right there, it's probably being held up by another tiny pole, so I don't feel super comfortable. Sorry, watch my fat fingers. But we do set up the essentials. So we got our propane, we got our beer. Yeah, I know someone's gonna make fun of Coors Light. I get it. We're only gonna be here not that long. A couple of 5-gallon drums of water, some Wise food, coffee, and of course coffee maker, because nothing is completely satisfactory in deer camp unless you have your coffee. I'm gonna get myself a cup now, but I can't legally hunt until tomorrow anyway. It's still bow season. Tomorrow's open season for a rifle, and we were checking the grounds, and you can see that there is a lot of mountains. Take out here. So there's a whole bunch of mountains out here that I can go up and play in. So if you see it over there, that whole ridge line up there, it's really good. So, like I said, we got a Coleman 7-man tent, which means it's about 2.5 with gear inside. Like I said, the buildings are no good. They're all falling down. They're dilapidated. There's one right there. It's completely fallen down. And then this used to be a dairy barn. The former owner had a dairy barn, and it's just completely fallen down. So good property. I think what my buddy's gonna do is he's gonna knock all these buildings down and just put like a simple little structure, probably take that house down and just do a small little cabin, and then use the fields for hay or for leasing for crops and stuff like that. So alright guys, so this is day 2 that I'm up here, but day 1 of the actual hunt in the southern zone. And you can see I'm tucked in on some farmland. Really nice area. So we saw I want to say an 8 to 10 pointer over here, and he was running. This is a street right here, and he was running across the street chasing a doe. And from where I'm sitting, that's about 400 yards. So I didn't, my buddy didn't feel comfortable taking that shot, and I didn't either. There was no way I was going to do that. And maybe if I had the right setup, it would be different. But this guy was big. Mr. Big. We think that they're hiding out in this grassy area over here.
tracks all over the place. So I'm not really sure, but you keep seeing them running across here and going into this field. And I'm sitting on what they would call a finger. So I'm on this side of the hill, my buddy's on the other side of the hill. So we cover more land. Yeah, it's about 8:40 in the morning. We've been out all morning since sunup. Try again tonight. So this is the last day of the hunt. See.